Before I get this video started, I actually found out about this story from Willie D's channel. And Water Sniper, I'm not sure if it was you or somebody else, but I think it was you who sent me maybe this story linking me to some article. But I don't know if it was this one or not, but I noticed that it came from the root. Let me put this disclaimer out there right now once and for all. If any of my subscribers send me a link from the root, I'm not going to open it up. I will just get the story elsewhere. And by this point, we should know how that website gets down and how they are ran. They didn't get the hashtag the root articles a couple months ago for nothing, and people didn't go in on them for nothing. We know how they get down. We know that they are a very toxic, venomous, poisonous website that literally takes their time out each and every day to attack black men using black writers. As a matter of fact, one of the articles that I had scrolled through and saw, and I had to unfollow somebody who I was following on it just for retweeting it. They were talking about that rapper XXXTentacion, the one who got killed in Florida, and basically talking about they probably used toxic masculinity all up and through that article because I skimmed through it, and it's like, anyway, they were talking about him, but they wanted to basically take a jab at black men. And ironically, the person who wrote the damn article was that Damon Young, that same black guy, and I use that loosely, who wrote that article last year talking about how black straight men were the white men of the black community. So if you send me any article from the root, I will not open the article up. Now, let me get into this story right here. Now, I found out about this story, like I said in the beginning, from Willie D. When the thing that caught my attention was when he said a woman from Maryland. I was like, oh, okay. And then he said Silver Spring. I was like, oh, this is even closer. Because Silver Spring is about a good 30, maybe 30, 35 minutes away from me, depending on how you drive and how traffic is. And you have this woman right here whose name is Kimberly Jordan. And she's 24 years old. And she was just recently charged with a hate crime because she said, I hate white people. And then she went on to proceeded to attack two white passengers on a bus. Now, it is amazing to me how they were quick to hit this woman with a hate crime instantly for what she did. But when white people commit all these hate crimes and call black people niggers and do all kinds of things, saying they're going to lynch them and wish they could bring back the Klan and do all this stuff to us and torture us and whatnot, they have to question why or if it is even a hate crime. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's look back into last year with Sean Urbanski and Richard Collins III. Richard Collins III was set to graduate from Bowie State University. He was over at University of Maryland College Park. Ironically, we are back in Maryland. And he was just, with some people, and he was waiting at the bus stop. And all of a sudden, Sean Urbanski went over and said some things to him, racially charged. He attacked Richard Collins and killed him. He stabbed him, I think 3 times, days before he was set to graduate from college. This man had, he was on part of racist white supremacist groups and alt-right groups, whatever, on social media. And they still to now, well, maybe not to now because I think they pretty much nailed it in the coffin. They, up until maybe a couple months ago, were questioning whether or not he should be hit with a hate crime. Let me explain this. He killed a black man. He called him racial slurs. He was a part of white supremacist groups that were for the slaughtering of people who were not white, mainly black people. And you question whether or not what he did was a hate crime? But this woman just said she didn't like white people, or she hated white people, and then she, put hands on them. I'm sure they'll heal in time. But this guy actually killed someone, and they were questioning whether it was a hate crime. All the way back in the Charlottesville, and with DeAndre Harris, they were questioning whether or not what he did or what they did to him was was that a hate crime. All they did was they beat this guy and damn near within an inch of his life, and he almost could have died or suffered all kinds of concussions. But they said that this woman is getting hit with a hate crime. Sorry about that interruption. Somebody was at the door. But yeah, another example could be the one that Willie D just gave, and one that True Royal Family, and shout out to her, has been following since this incident happened, and that's with the young black student, what is her name, Jazzy Rowe, who was pretty much poisoned by her roommate, you know, doing all of that stuff to her, putting period blood and all kinds of stuff, tainting her hair products and her food and whatnot. And they didn't even give her a hate crime, hit her with a hate crime charge. So you have people out here that are literally trying to kill people, and people who have killed people who they got to question if what they committed is a hate crime. But this woman gets hit with a hate crime instantly. And I believe Willie D actually said it in his channel, because I didn't pull it up in the article, or didn't come up in the article that I saw. They are about to hit this woman with 13 years. They are about to throw her in jail for 13 years for this, because they were ready to throw the book at her. So you mean to tell me that white people could commit hate crimes against black people? Y'all will question if it's a hate crime, but this black woman says she doesn't like white people, or she hates them, and she goes over there and she attacks them, and she gets hit with 13 years in prison. They made it seem like this woman was trying to kill them, or did do it. So let this be, this is like an interesting situation right here. Black people, they're basically saying that if a white person comes up to you and calls you a slur, you better not say nothing back, because then they'll run and cry and say that this person says I hate white people, and then they'll hit you with a felony charge of a hate crime, and then they won't get hit with anything. And they have the nerve to say that they are the most superior group. That's very weak to me. Like, it's crazy. I mean, I do applaud her for being very unapologetic with her stance, but I also have to question this, and this is something white people ask all the time. What happened to lead up to her saying that? I have a feeling that somebody probably could have provoked her. We already know how the colonizer gets down. They do so much to provoke us. It doesn't really take much for us to snap. You know what? I wonder if there's a video that goes to this, but you know, I didn't see any video footage attached to this, so I have to question, did this even happen? Or is this just all hearsay? But if there is a video attached to this, I would love to see it, because we know how they love to fabricate a story. But I hope she gets a strong enough lawyer that can hopefully overturn this case for her. But now she pretty much has all eyes on her. They know who she is. They know how old she is. They probably know where she lives. And unfortunately, this is going to stay on her record for the rest of her life. And she's only 24 years old. Yeah, she's about to go into the system because of how she felt. Remember, these are the same people that say, oh, we want to practice our freedom of speech. Why are you taking away our freedom of speech? Wasn't that exactly what she was doing? Exercising her First Amendment right? Oh, I forgot. She's not a white woman. She's not white, period. So let me just, like I said, black people, y'all can feel however you feel about white people or the colonizer. And trust me, I've seen my subscribers already know how y'all feel. But take a page out of this woman's book. This woman expressed how she felt in real time. And now they are prepared to throw the book at her for it. But it's also, and this is going to be my last statement, I almost forgot to mention this, and I'm glad I remembered. It's also telling us now that they are trying to put white people in a position of always being in a victim state, where only they can face racism and black people cannot. It's that whole, and you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody had yelled out reverse racism on that bus. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one.